where the entry opportunities are and what the expectation should be. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop in. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for November 5th, 2019. All right, we got the Qs, basically flat. SPY, also basically flat. Would like to see a pullback on the hourly, but either way, the bias is going to remain bullish. Okay, so market staying strong here. All right, and continues to grind higher on the hourly chart here. Daily, weekly, monthly, all remain bullish. Been bullish for, I guess, 3 weeks now. And the continuation here on the Qs and SPY is pretty sustainable. We're really not that extended, not that far up. Okay, so going into tomorrow, still going to be bullish. We'll see if we get maybe... we got a little bit of a breakout failure still basing here, so I think it's still too premature to call this a breakout failure, to expect that. So going into tomorrow, still going to be a bullish bias. All right. So what I wanted to get into today are the gap bullies. Okay, the gap bully. You'll hear this term in the Strategic Day Trader mentioned quite a bit, something that we're always looking for. All right, and so what makes something a gap bully? Okay, and once you see it on the daily, okay, and you see it, it'll stand out. It'll be hard to ignore. So here are the examples from today. CBT, ARNC, LASR, TPR, NTR, and RMBS. Okay, now all of these, right, we get something like this. We are watching for an entry higher. So that's going to be the part that I want to now dig into. Okay, what should we be looking for when we come across something that looks like that? Now, what you can see here on, for instance, the CBT, right, we start off with a gap down. The gap down immediately gets bought. The sooner, the better. You want this happening in as early as possible, where something that was gapping down actually goes positive on the day. Okay, so what is kind of happening here, right? Is that maybe shorts who were holding thought that they were going to have a nice profitable trade here, maybe a nice kind of swing trade, maybe from the last few days, and they see that profit immediately disappear. Now, if you are long in this and you get this gap down and then you get this run up, right? Longs are also going to be thinking, oh, thank goodness, I can get out maybe a little bit of profit, or I can get out break even as it's on its way up, right? Because I was worried that this gap down against me was going to be a disaster. Nobody likes plays that are going against them, right? You want to keep that that kind of tolerance nice and low, get out of plays when it is the right time to get out of them, or, you know, at the first sign of trouble typically, right? And so the longs are going to have a short leash on this, getting out of this, and shorts are going to be quickly seeing profits evaporate. Maybe they're getting out as well as they're seeing all that disappear, and they have to react. So what does that do, right? That makes shorts have to cover, and longs potentially have to get back in if they feel like they got shaken out, which a lot of times these gaps do. Okay, so once this gets through that resistance, what we want to see is a retracement. Okay, a nice pullback. Okay, retrace, and then a chance to get in. Okay, here is 15-minute buy setup. Okay, retracement, and then your chance to get in. Okay, we played the ARNC. All right, similar. You can see bullied the gap, right? Broke through the resistance, came back in, and we played it right over here. Wasn't a huge play, and then pretty much just stuck with it till the final hour here, right? Wasn't a huge play, but it's a very, very accurate strategy. That's why I like it a lot, right? Because we are identifying where this momentum occurs, right? This event happens, right? And these usually will continue, all right, because of what it does on the larger time frame, which is shake out longs and force shorts to have to make a quick decision that they maybe weren't prepared to because they thought on that gap down they were going to be looking to take profit. Okay, a very nice one here on the LASR. Now notice on this one, you don't really get the pullback. Okay, maybe you could say you can make the case for one in here, a little bit on the sketchy side as far as liquidity. But look at this 15-minute base breakout, right? There's an opportunity. Bases for quite a while, clear, nice tight bars, and then breaks out. Let's do the TPR. How about the TPR? Nice gap down initially, and then breaks out to the other side into an area where it hasn't been in a while, right? Clearing some resistance. So you see that happen right from the morning, right? Remember, we want these to happen as soon as possible, okay? And you'd see it take off as it comes to do a retracement, as it comes to pullback, right? Those are our chances to play it. I think this one eventually did do a 15-minute pullback, and kind of up to you how you pick your targets, how much you're looking for. I think this would have been a tough play there because pretty deep on the retracement. 15-minute would have triggered and then actually would not have followed through. Okay, what we want to see as much as possible on these, what makes the follow through typically more sustained throughout the day, is that they're in line with the larger time frame. So you can see the TPR struggling a little bit here because it's against a long-term weekly downtrend, right? Unlike some of these others like the ARNC, right, which we played, right, uptrend, nice uptrend, and then CBT's been sideways and then trying to break out there. So you can see that's probably why I went after the ARNC, right, because I'm looking for a continuation of this bullishness, right? It's more likely that you have longs maybe feeling like they got shaken out and want to continue up in this uptrend. So let's take a look at a couple others. I know that TPR was a little bit tough, worked really well in the morning, and then in the afternoon kind of ran out of steam. And I would have expected kind of the same because look at the NTR into all that resistance, and then the Rambus, actually not bad. Rambus running into some weekly resistance, but overall I do like that larger time frame. All right, so let's take a look at the entry on the Rambus, right? Entry on the Rambus, you did get a pullback here. It's a little bit like the TPR if you have the right expectations. Otherwise, you know, this wasn't able to hold that pivot. And then I think the NTR, we did kind of go back and forth on this one too, decided to pass on it. I think it was a good pass because of that larger time frame. Here is your pullback. So you can see the bullishness and then the pullback. Did get some follow through, you know, wouldn't have been one I would have been able to hold all day, and I'm always looking for that as much as possible. So something like the, you know, laser is going to close up here at the highs, CBT is going to close up here at the highs, ARNC closing up here somewhere near the highs. Okay, so you're looking for first some kind of event like this on the daily. Okay, CBT, ARNC, they gap down and immediately run back up the other way. You can see that usually this kind of buying is going to be sustained. Laser, very, very impressive, right? Wide range green bar going to stay up there. And the reason that I do prefer, I know the laser was a breakout, pullbacks, is because a lot of times they're going to have to move a lot to make this happen. And so playing it on a pullback gets you a chance to kind of play it as it's retracing, as opposed to when it's still up and extended. Okay, extended up. All right, so we saw a lot of these today. I wanted to make sure we went over several of the ones that were considered, look at some ones that followed through a little bit, some that followed through a lot, right? And kind of take a look at them so that when you start to see these, you can start to identify good ones, which ones should be played, and some good entry points. All right, so a lot of gap bullies today. And so I thought today was a good chance to look at these, you know, because sometimes you can take a look at them on different days and they're in kind of different environments. The market's doing different things, right? So when you get a day where you get a bunch of them all on the same day and dealing with the same market environment or the same kind of market performance, right? It's easier to kind of differentiate, okay, these are good setups versus these ones are a little bit tougher. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can see why this kind of setup, this strategy is powerful. What happens to traders that are involved in these, and why they make for good plays. All right. So that's gonna do it for today's market wrap. Hopefully you did well today. If not, we still have plenty of the week left. Okay. Earnings season is still right at its peak, so lots of trading. Stay focused. All right, and hope everything goes well. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good evening.